YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. These new social media platforms, are they a replacement for the Sharks and Jets gang hangouts of years gone by? Or are they places to connect with people and share some information? Today we're going to find out. Remember when social media meant seeing your neighbor over the backyard fence and you'd walk over, say, hi, how are you? And then, well, I better let you get back to it. And 45 minutes later, you've solved inflation, most of the world's problems. You planned a fishing trip and somehow you agreed to help them move a refrigerator next Saturday. The funny thing is, nobody ever called it social media. We just called it being friendly. Now, today we've replaced that backyard fence with a screen. Some days that's great. Other days, I'm kind of convinced that half the internet woke up, skipped breakfast, and is just spoiling for a fight. Hi, everybody. I'm Rico, the old guy in a chair. And if social media has ever baffled you, confused you, or just frustrated you, or made you wonder why your phone suddenly thinks you're an alpaca farmer, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to try to take the mystery out of it. You know, no technical jargon, no computer science degree required, just some plain English. And hopefully by the end of this video, you won't know everything about social media, but then again, neither do I, but you will understand enough about it to enjoy it without letting it take over your life. Because after spending years watching social media evolve, I've come to one simple conclusion. Social media is a wonderful servant and it's a terrible master. Now, people hear the word social media and they immediately think we're going to talk about technology. Actually, we're going to talk about people, because social media isn't about computers, it's about people like us. It's simply a place where people share things. You know, they share pictures and videos and opinions, right or wrong. The original idea was pretty wonderful. I mean, people stay connected, they'd share their experiences, maybe learn something, hopefully laugh. And when it's used that way, social media is one of the best communication tools ever invented. Now, I've learned a ton of things on social media. I mean, how to repair things around the house. I've found new restaurants, you know, reconnected with people I haven't spoken to in 20 or 30 years. And I've learned that there are thousands of people out there who restore antique tractors, which is a really cool hobby, and I encourage you to check it out. I mean, I didn't even know it was a hobby, but apparently it is. But then something changed. I mean, the companies that own the social media platforms figured out that our attention has value. The longer we stay, the more advertisements they can show us. The longer our eyes are glued to that screen, the more money they can make. And that's not necessarily a bad or evil thing. I mean, television and radio worked exactly the same way for decades. The difference is TV and radio gave everybody the same ads. Social media shows you your commercials, stuff that's based on what you have watched. And my friends, that's where that big scary word and our old friend comes into play. Of course, I'm talking about the algorithm. Now, don't let that word scare you. I mean, algorithm sounds like something that should require 3 calculators, a textbook, and a college degree. It doesn't. So, let's think of it this way. Imagine your favorite your favorite neighborhood diner or restaurant. The algorithm is the server. The server waits on you the first time and listens to what you like or don't like. The second time, that same server is going to suggest something similar to what you had the first time. By visit 5, your drinks are on the table before you sit down. That's the algorithm. It simply notices what gets your attention and what you like and keeps bringing you more of it. You know, you watch a few gardening videos, you'll see more gardening. You watch classic cars, welcome to the world of 57 Chevys, Mustangs, and Corvettes. You watch one video about organizing your garage and suddenly Amazon believes you're opening a warehouse and you need it full of plastic storage bins. Just how it works. But here's the really important part about the algorithm. It doesn't know what's true, it doesn't know what's healthy for you, and it certainly doesn't know what's good for you. It only knows what you've watched, liked, commented on, and how often you've watched, liked, and commented on it. So, if you remember our waitress, She isn't trying to improve your diet. She's trying to make sure you leave happy and come back tomorrow and the day after. Social media works exactly the same way. But social media also gives you the chance to try other things. I mean, that server always brings you a menu, right? So imagine if he or she would always bring you the menu plus a list of special items that they only have for that day. What I'm trying to tell you is don't get stuck in your own little silo on social media. Venture out, try new things. Eating the same thing every day gets really boring and misses the entire point of social media. Try something new every now and then. You might be surprised. Because if you spend every day watching angry people argue, don't be surprised when pretty soon all that you're getting fed by social media is angry people arguing about politics. I mean, bottom line, the algorithm isn't judging you, it's just listening to you. Every time you click, every time you comment, every video you finish, or even every video you ignore, you're teaching it. So basically, you are training the algorithm every single day, which is actually really good news because it means that you have more control over it than you think. If you want social media to become more useful to you, start looking at things that you're curious about, that you want to learn about, things that make you laugh. The algorithm will learn those things have value to you and feed you more of those things. Life gets a whole lot better when your phone starts recommending things like birdhouses instead of blood pressure medication. Mostly because you spent 2 hours reading political arguments last night. I mean, trust me, there's a lot better ways to spend an afternoon or evening. Now, let's discuss the platforms. Start with the one most of us already know, and that would be Facebook. So if social media was a small town, Facebook would be the local diner. It's where everybody knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. It's where your grandparents go to show off pictures of their kids and grandkids. It's where everybody recommends a plumber to somebody else. It's where old classmates connect. And every single day, somebody's trying to sell an exercise bike that's become an expensive clothing rack. For our generation, it isn't about technology. It's about staying connected. And that's why I still like it. I mean, years ago, if your family lived on the other side of the country, you waited for photographs to come in the mail. Now you can watch their birthdays, their graduations, their vacation, and their latest adventures almost as soon as they happen. And that's pretty remarkable when you stop and you think about it. Um, Technology didn't make those memories, it just made them easier to share. Now, there is one thing that Facebook does exceptionally well, and that's spread information. Unfortunately, it doesn't always ask whether or not the information is true. And you've probably seen headlines like, doctors hate this one trick, or Bigfoot doesn't want you to do this in the woods. Well, whenever I read a post like that, I immediately become suspicious. I've reached the age where if somebody's promises or somebody's trying to change my life in 30 seconds, really sure they're going to try to sell me vitamins. So here's my rule. If something online makes me instantly furious or really excited, I don't react to it. I go get something to drink, I go outside with the dog, or my favorite, I just ignore it. And it's amazing how many things seem a lot less important after some caffeine and fresh air. And remember, there's always one family member who has discovered the caps lock key and thinks that they're now broadcasting to the world. Um, you gotta love them, but just don't argue with them on Facebook. I mean, nobody has ever won Thanksgiving from the comment section. Now, let's talk about my favorite, YouTube. If I could only keep one social media platform, it would be YouTube. Not because it's entertaining, but because it's useful. YouTube is like having the world's biggest library and the world's handiest neighbor available to you 24/7. You need to replace a faucet, there's video. Fix a lawnmower, there's video. Want to understand artificial intelligence AI? Well, hopefully soon there's going to be an old guy sitting in a chair helping you with that too. And that's why I love YouTube. It rewards curiosity. I've repaired appliances, solved computer problems, built things, saved a ton of money, all because somebody I will probably never meet took the time to explain things clearly. And that's one of the best things about the internet is people sharing things, sharing knowledge. I mean, years ago, if your washing machine stopped working, you called a repairman. No choice. Today, there's a decent chance somebody on YouTube has already fixed that exact same problem with the exact same model using nothing more than a screwdriver, a flashlight, some duct tape, and it costs them less than $10. So now, remember our waitress? Well, she got a promotion. She now works full time for YouTube, and once you finish one video, she immediately brings you another one, and then another, and another. And pretty soon it's 11 o'clock at night, and you somehow become emotionally attached to watching somebody restore an old tractor, and you don't own a tractor. You don't know anybody that owns a tractor, but you're kind of rooting for the tractor. That's the algorithm at work, guys. That's YouTube. One of the greatest educational tools ever invented and one of the easiest places to accidentally lose an evening. So here's my advice. Go there with a purpose, learn something, fix something, laugh a little, and then close the app before the waitress brings you dessert. Now, Instagram is different. Instagram tells stories without using very many words. It's, photography, travel, gardens, cars, pets, food. And it's where people share beautiful moments of their beautiful lives. And honestly, it's kind of enjoyable. I mean, I like seeing talented photographers and beautiful places and interesting architecture. And actually, what I really enjoy are the creatives that post on Instagram, because a lot of their work is not published, and so this is the only place where they can get their work out to the general public. So please do yourself a favor, look for the creative groups. You won't regret it. But here's the one thing to remember. Instagram is always a highlight reel. People post the beach, they don't post the thunderstorm. People post a smiling picture, but they don't show the argument that that occurred after, because it took 20 minutes to get everybody to say cheese at the same time. And please don't compare your ordinary Tuesday to somebody else's carefully edited vacation brochure. Trust me, it's not worth it. And their garage is probably just as cluttered as yours. They simply had the good sense not to photograph it. So enjoy Instagram, be inspired, steal ideas, find beautiful places to visit. Just don't let it convince you everybody else has their life figured out, because they don't. And I guarantee you, behind every Instagram photo, there is at least one person in their sweats eating crackers over a sink. Now let's talk about TikTok. I mean, if YouTube is a documentary, TikTok is your DVR on fast forward. Everything happens fast and really fast. 1 minute you're learning to make homemade bread. The next, a veterinarian's explaining why your dog sleeps on its back. And then suddenly you're watching a guy build a canoe out of a piece of cardboard, and somehow it all makes perfect sense. I mean, the first time I opened TikTok, I thought, hey, I'll spend 5 minutes watching this. 2 hours later, I knew how to make Korean pancakes, restore cast iron cookware, and according to the algorithm, I am well on my way to being an alpaca farmer, or at least my phone thinks I am. Now let's go back to our waitress. Remember her. Now, she's completely out of control on TikTok. She's running around with all these plates saying, oh, try this. No, actually, you'll like this one better. Oh, here, you're going to love this. Well, that's TikTok in a nutshell. A lot of stuff kind of all over the place and coming at you pretty fast. Some of it's educational, some of it's hilarious. Some of it makes you wonder why people have so much time on their hands. My advice, enjoy it, learn from it, laugh at it. Just remember, if you plan to spend 5 minutes there, set a timer. Your future self will appreciate it. And then finally we get to X. And if that's formerly Twitter. And if Facebook is the neighborhood and YouTube is the library, X is the guy running down the street yelling, hey, something just happened. Well, sometimes he's right. Something did just happen. And sometimes he's just a crazy guy running down the street. X is great for breaking news, weather alerts, sports scores, emergency information. And if something happens, chances are it's going to show up on X first. But just remember that the first report is rarely complete, and facts usually arrive in pieces. So try to stay up to date and stay informed. And don't panic every time somebody posts something all in caps. Your blood pressure and your heart rate deserve better than that. So, which one should you use? I say pick any one, maybe two, and take them out for a test drive. I mean, you don't need every social media app. Pick the one that fits your life. Okay? If you enjoy keeping up with your family, then go with Facebook. If you like learning, then YouTube. If you like really nice photography, Instagram. If you like quick entertainment, TikTok. And if you want breaking but sometimes unreliable news, X. I mean, remember, you're choosing tools. You're not trying to build an entire toolbox. And after everything we've talked about, I don't want you to think that I'm against social media, because I'm not. I think it can be one of the greatest communication tools ever invented. All the platforms are great for staying connected to other people. Just make sure it's a real person and not an AI agent or a bot account or a spammer or a scammer. And we'll cover all those in another video, but not today. Remember, technology and social media don't create experiences. It helps us share them. Every tool has its downside. A hammer can build a house or it can smash your thumb. The hammer isn't the problem. It's how you use it. Social media is exactly the same way. Remember the algorithm now? Well, remember, every click, every comment, every video, every minute you stay engaged, it's learning something from you. So train it to be your servant. If you reward it with watching more outrageous things, it's going to give you more outrageous things. If you reward it with curiosity, kindness, humor, and learning, you'll get more of those instead. The algorithm isn't your enemy. It's just paying attention to exactly what you've watched. So teach it the right lessons. Now, going full circle back to the neighbors talking over a fence. Well, it wasn't about exchanging information. It was about being friendly and making a connection with another human being. And that's what social media is supposed to be about. A way to stay connected. It's not a replacement for real life. Use it to learn, to laugh, and stay close to people you care about. Use it to make your life a little bit better. Just don't forget to close the apps once in a while. Go outside, talk to your neighbors and your friends, take your dog for a walk, call somebody instead of texting them. I mean, social media is an amazing tool, but it works best when it helps us spend more time living a real life, not less. Okay, so with that all having been said, thanks for spending a little time with me today. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, and share. And if there's any type of question that you didn't see covered, please drop me a line or post a comment. I'm sure you're not the only one that has that question, so I'll be glad to do a video on it if you'd like. That's all I have for you now. Until next time, I'm Rico, the old guy in a chair. Hope you have a great day. Thanks.